Jeff Bradley's the current representative for the district, elected in 2014 and 2016 without opposition. You this year were primaried by Phil Hartman, but you successfully got through that. You're a financial advisor on the island. You and your wife and family have been here for, gosh, almost 4 decades now.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It is. If you are going back to the legislature in January, what do you want to get accomplished? What's the top thing on ticking on your list?
Well, if I were just ticking off 3 things, it would be the retirement system reform, education reform, and regulation reform.
Okay. Retirement system reform is something you've been working on.
Absolutely.
And
you know that.
And that we could be here an hour talking about that. Education reform, I think, is on a lot of people's minds. What do you want to see? What needs to be changed?
Well, as you may or may not know, that we have a referendum item this time where the superintendent, do the people of South Carolina want the superintendent of education to be appointed by the governor? I am interested to see how people work with that. I think it would be better for the state if that were to occur, so that if we have a fantastic campaigner and a terrible superintendent of education, they could be in for 8 years and we could get nothing done there. So if we can get this changed, then the governor is able to appoint someone if they're a bad superintendent of education.
Does that more streamline the process if legislature, governor, and superintendent of education are all lined up?
Yeah, we hope that would improve the process. And this year we gave the superintendent the authority to come in and take over districts that are in financial trouble, and I think that that's a big step in moving in the right direction.
And the third reform you were talking about was
regulations.
Regulation reform. Are we overregulated in South Carolina by ourselves? Come
Absolutely.
on.
We have a code of regulations that's 6 feet wide, and we are systematically going through that process, and we are going to try and reduce some of the regulations that exist out there. I'll give you an example. We took one this year where the labor licensing folks wanted to put a $5 million cost to people that were doing appraisals for homes.
Okay.
And we were able to beat that back. That's just one example of where regulations are a burden to business and burden to individuals.
All right. The bridge, we should probably talk about that real quickly. You are...
I'm absolutely in favor of a bridge. I think that we need something to help alleviate this congestion that we have. And you know, we have a referendum coming up in a couple of weeks relative to 1% transportation tax. And that would be used to come up with approximately $80 million for the bridge effort, which would then be coupled with a $43 million block of money that's available at the federal level, and then we would probably have to go to the state infrastructure bank to get the balance.
But with all of that in there, the state would probably ante up some too.
I think
to be a part of it all if everything else was in line.
Yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape with that.
All right, Jeff, we appreciate the time.
Thanks.
I wish we had more time, and we probably will at some point soon. Thanks, Jeff Bradley, candidate for state representative for Hilton Head Island. There's more to come on the Hilton Head News. Stay with us.